We've seen many sides to Julie Andrews on the screen, from her performances in Mary Poppins and The Sound of Music to her more recent movies, 10 and Victor, Victoria. But there are other sides to Julie Andrews. Off-screen, she is an author of children's books, a wife and mother, and for several years she has been active in a relief organization called Operation California, or OpCal. And right now, OpCal is organizing a major airlift of food and medical supplies to help starving people in Ethiopia. Julie, it's nice to see you.
Nice to be here, Joe.
You and your husband, Blake Edwards, have been involved in several different organizations to help others. But with the Operation California, how did you get involved in that?
Well, Blake was watching the television one morning and saw an interview with two young gentlemen by name of Richard Walden and Lou Werner. And they were appealing for funds for an airlift to Cambodia. They had been sitting on a beach in Santa Monica one sunny morning and had been agonizing, like most people, about the plight of the boat people and what could they do to help, and was there anything that would make a difference. And they said, well, let's make a difference, let's see if we can. And in something like 29 days, they had raised a complete airlift of supplies. They just didn't have the airplane to take the stuff there. And that's where my husband came in. He saw the appeal that they made on television and said, I'll help you get the plane off the ground, and he gave them the money to do it. And that was the beginning of Operation California.
See, now a lot of people would say, but how can I help? What have you learned by working with all these organizations about what kind of a difference each one of us can really make?
Well, we can, and the amazing thing is that I think so many people say, but it's such a drop in the ocean, and will my dollar really make a difference? But $1 really makes a difference. If everybody could manage to find $1, I think that it would be such a difference in the aid that we could send. It would be phenomenal. And I don't think people should be embarrassed by how little they can give. They can make a difference. And if they can't give money, they can call and offer their help or their aid in any way possible. Give a donation of food or medicines or anything.
You've had the opportunity to really see how people can be helped. I think it was 2 years ago you visited, what, Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam.
Yes.
You said that your values changed a lot. In what way?
I think that you are forever changed. If you see something as devastating as I saw, which was babies that were dying in front of my eyes and children so malnourished and so ill, I think you cannot help but respond from the heart, first of all. But secondly, I think you forevermore carry it around with you. You feel this tremendous obligation to communicate it to other people, because if you see it for yourself, you cannot help but want to do something about it. I don't think photographs and even the wonderful news coverage that we're seeing now about Ethiopia and all the terrible famine there, I don't think that a black and white or color photograph can even begin to tell you how really terrible it is.
Of course, this isn't something new for you. You and your husband, even though you had 3 children, I believe, from previous marriages. What about 10? How long ago was it you adopted 2 little Vietnamese children?
Yes.
Can you tell us, how did it come about?
Well, we both wanted children, and we finally decided to adopt a child, and very quickly the second one followed. And we heard of a wonderful organization in Saigon, and we wrote to them, and they said they would send us a baby. And this was just 9.5 years ago, and our first baby arrived. And then Saigon began to fall, and we very quickly realized that if we didn't get another child soon, the source of adoption wouldn't be available to us. So we got a second child as quickly as possible.
So now you have 2 little children, what, 9 and 10 years old?
Yes, yes, and they're lovely. Yeah.
You know, another aspect of Julie Andrews, I don't know if a lot of people realize it, though, I mentioned it in the introduction, that you write children's books.
Yes.
I think, let's see, I have the names. There's Mandy, there's The Last of the Great Wangdoodle. Well, how did you, and I think you're working on one now about a little kitten, right?
That's right.
How did all that come about?
Oh, the first book came about as a result of a forfeit I had to pay to my eldest daughter. And we were playing a game, and I lost, and she said, well, write me a story. And I thought I'd write her like a couple of pages and pay my debt. And it turned into a book. And I so enjoyed that I kind of got into the second book, and now I'm on to my third.
And you write them under your married name, right?
I
Julie
do,
Edwards.
yeah. If it were not for Blake, I would never have had the courage to keep plowing ahead with it and doing it. So I write under the name of Julie Edwards.
I know you've said that you've been very fortunate in your life. What are you most thankful for?
There are so many things I'm thankful for. It's hard to just pin down one. I'm very thankful that I'm me. I think I'm very fortunate. I couldn't actually give you one final answer.
Well, there are many, many other people who can be thankful that you are so generous in all of your efforts to help other people, and it's delightful to have you with us today.
Thank you.
And we'll be back in just a moment.